What's going on? This is Pedram coming to you from Pathway to Purity, and in this channel we show people step by step how to overcome porn addiction, how to overcome sexual addiction, and how to get your freedom back. If you're somebody who is stuck in addiction for many years, I want you to know there is hope for you. And addiction really destroys all areas of your life. It destroys your mental health, it affects your career, it affects your relationship, connection with people, it affects your health, it affects your financial situations, and it's all rounder, um, affects you all areas of your life. And having an addiction is a bit like driving with your handbrake on. And once you overcome it, putting the handbrake down, all of a sudden you'll see how much more smoother you are and how much you're moving forward. So, how do you overcome addiction? How do you overcome addiction? The way you overcome addiction is by, first let's get into how you developed addiction. You develop addiction by being in your head or trying to manipulate or control situation, outcome, and places. In other words, you can say that your stinking thinking or our stinking thinking is what caused the addiction is to begin with. It's our attitude, is the way we look at life, is the way we try to manipulate people, manipulate situation, manipulate outcomes. And the problem is from the attitude, is our heart, is it's spiritual problem. It's a spiritual issue. And the way we cure it is by letting go and letting God, or for some people like to say higher power, to do, or instead of our trying to manipulate our life, instead of our we have the final say and say, this is how we're gonna do it, or this is how I am gonna do it. We give it to God, because God can do a much better job than we can do. And He's the one who can take our life to a place where we can become free and walk free. And all of a sudden, we realize that our life is actually going somewhere instead of just going around the circle. Because when I was in my addiction, I was constantly going around the circle. The same pattern would repeat itself. And only when you get out of addiction is when you can move forward and for you to live a fulfilling life. So, in other words, we need to align ourselves with God's law, and we need to give our life to God instead of trying to manipulate or control situation or outcome. So, we got to go on a spiritual journey here. We got to be able to see whatever it takes for us to overcome this addiction. Another thing I want to touch on is connection. Addicts tend to be lonely people, isolated people, because our attitude was stinking thinking, and because we had a problem of attitude, we isolated ourselves, because we either bothered other people, or we perceived them as them bothering us. So we went to isolation, because we thought that's the best way to not hurt ourselves and not to hurt others. And the isolation is what leads to addiction again. It Addiction likes to isolate you before it makes you take your chosen drug, whatever that might be. So another thing we can do to overcome addiction is to simply be connect with people. First, connect with God, your higher power, the intelligent being of the universe, and then second, you can connect with other people, whether that is friends, family, because when you're in addiction, you're going to find it very, very tough to connect people in general. So that's by short how you cure your addiction. If you are somebody who is struggling with addiction, hit me up, message me, and I do this 12 weeks coaching program where I take your hand and I show you how to break free step by step. And I show you my method of how I broke free of my addiction and how you can break free too. Because until you're in this addiction, you'll not be able to take your life forward. Everything's going to be mundane. Everything's going to be boring. Nothing is going to stick. You don't enjoy the little things, walking, cycling, talking to friends, drinking coffee. Everything is mundane. After all, your addiction releases more dopamine and it causes more happiness. So why would I want to engage myself in activities, hanging around with friends? And the isolation continues, and the more I go forward with my addiction, the lonelier I feel every single day. So by you contacting me and asking for coaching, I'll be able to give you the step I took to break free of my addiction and how I can give you those steps so you can break too. Because after all, if I can do it, you can do it too. I am probably one of the slowest people you will ever meet when it comes to picking up stuff and learning stuff. If I can do it, you can do it too. So let's go on this spiritual journey together. Contact me, drop me either comment or message me, and let's get on the road to recovery. I hope this video helped, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.